I cannot keep that opening song for The Promised Neverland out of my head. I have had to have listened to that opening song on repeat over and over again since it came out last week. It's truly a solid opening. I mean, I cannot get enough of just seeing how Emma and all of them are running through the forest. And you just hear the lyrics just start ramping up in that moment of the opening song. It's just a really good opening. I mean, we have a lot of good opening songs from this anime season. I mean, we have Dororo, we have Tate no Yusha, Mob Psycho Season 2, Boogie Pop, this. I mean, there's a lot of good opening songs for this anime season, and it's rare, honestly. Normally, when I'm watching anime season, I typically, watch the opening maybe 1 to 3 times, depending on the anime, obviously. And then I skip it for the remainder of the series and get to the episode. That's pretty much what I normally do. But that has not been the case at all with pretty much every anime episode from this season. It's honestly impressive. But okay, let's talk about this episode. Episode 2 of The Promised Neverland. I'm already starting to see many thinking the same thing that many manga readers felt or were thinking when these events happened for the first time. Many are getting stressed out, anxiety, and wondering what is going to happen. And that is the catch to The Promised Neverland. That's the main drawing factor to the series. It's that every single chapter, when it came out, always left you on a cliffhanger where you're like, holy crap. Like, it left you on a jarring cliffhanger. Like, either, you had it to where Sister Chrome, which popped up at the end of this episode, and you just see, how everything goes to hell, or you have it to where, it seems like they might be found out, or, their cover exposed or something, the chapter ends. That was constantly happening since the very beginning of the manga. And it's very nice to see these anime-onlys, you guys, getting stressed out with, all these events that's happening throughout the episode. Like, the whole situation when Emma has to put on a poker face against the mother. Now that is the scary part about this episode, and so let's get into that. It's a very iconic moment for The Promised Neverland. The reaction of Emma towards her mother and how she was prying and trying to get information out of her, but at the same time not trying to give information up. It was a very good scene in the manga. And in the anime, I have to say, it is definitely on par. I don't think it is better than the manga, but I say it is on par with the manga. And the reason why I don't think it is better than the manga is because in the manga, we go from the scene with Emma looking at the wall with the different pictures, thinking of Connie, to the next panel to where you just see the mother looking at Emma, staring her into, right into the face. It's very jarring, it's very creepy, and when the way the episode did it, it made it seem like, it was preparing you for it. Something's about to happen, and when Norman walking up slowly, like I said, it was preparing you for that scene. But in the manga, it was from, Emma looking at the wall to just the mother looking at her right in the face. It was creepy, because you turn the page, and all of a sudden you saw it, and you're like, whoa, 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 calm the hell down here. That's pretty much what happened. And so, I don't think one or the other is better than the other. I have to say they both have their own enjoyment factor. I think the manga, in terms of shocking factor, is better, but in terms of build-up and tension, or building up the anxiety, I think the scene in the episode, the anime, is a lot better. Now, let's talk about what Emma was doing in that moment, and also what the mother did as well. So basically, from what you can get from that is, when Emma mentioned to her mother, so I miss Connie, the way she said that, it was a really, really risky maneuver. She was walking a tightrope when she mentioned that, but at the same time, she had, a nerves of steel to be able to do that, because it says a lot. Number one, it shows that Connie isn't a touchy subject to Emma. That means that, Connie can be talked about, and she doesn't get nervous or upset, which means that she might not think Connie really is dead, even though Emma knows Connie's dead. With her saying, she said, the words she said, I miss her and all that, and, I wonder how she's doing, it puts on this disguise to where Emma thinks Connie really is alive, and so she was putting on a poker face against the mother. But on top of that, even if the mother, is suspicious of Emma, seeing Emma talk about Connie like that, it does, kind of get rid of suspicion, because it shows that, she's willing to talk about it. Even if, something's happened to Connie and the mother knows, Emma's willing to talk about this and be completely A-okay. So yeah, Emma had a really good move there. She did a good move to be able to kind of slightly get the pressure off of her back, before she can kind of navigate around the farm like nothing. But we also need to look at what Emma was doing towards the mother as well. When she's like, I miss Connie, and you see how the mother reacted, it showed us a lot about her character. Now, as an anime only, when you watch this episode, after the events of the first episode, you probably have a big question in your mind. Is the mother a bad person? Now, you can assume she is. I mean, after seeing the first episode and how she put on this very, dark and mean tone as soon as she was, basically shipping Connie's body off, it showed a very different depiction of her compared to what we saw earlier on in the first episode. And when you look at this episode, she had no emotions in her face really talking about how Connie is now gone. So you're thinking, okay, she's probably a monster. But even if you think that, there could be a lot more going on here than we actually know of. For instance, maybe she's having to put on a mask and lie to the demons, but deep down she does care, or she really is just a heinous individual and she doesn't give a crap about what happens to these children. But whatever the case may be, from that one moment where Emma was probing, the mother, I miss Connie, she showed no emotions, no empathy, no sadness, no anger, nothing. She smiled, had a perfect poker face, and was fine. So in a way, both of the characters, Emma and the mother, they lied to each other really well. And the acting in that moment is impressive. Not just the voice acting, but just the character in general acting like they did is something that, I think many are going to praise when it comes to this episode. Now, let's also talk about the scene with Emma wanting to save everybody in the farm. Now, this is a really big moment for the series, and it also could get some upset, but at the same time, it is very refreshing, and so let's get into that. If you've noticed by now, we have three main characters. We have Ray, Norman, and Emma. Even though Emma is getting a lot of focus, it's clear as day that we have three main characters, and this is something that does happen a lot in shonen series. It's not just always one MC. Usually there can be a multiple MCs. For instance, you have Gon and Killua, Kurapika and Leorio, and Hunter x Hunter, the four MCs, their own journey, their path they make in their own story, and so we know for a fact this is common in shonen, having multiple MCs. It's not out of the realm of possibility. So when you look at these three characters, let's say, Norman, Ray, and Emma, they each have their own respective personalities that really complement each other, but also can make some very tense situations. When you look at Emma, she represents what we know from shonen. She is a very naive individual. She is someone that wants to save everybody. She really gives off that life of shonen protagonist, or a typical shonen protagonist. But at the same time, she has this very intelligent side to her that makes her pretty frightening. In some ways, you can kind of compare her to Gon from Hunter x Hunter. Now, when you look at Norman, he's an individual that is obviously very gifted. He's very intelligent. He's able to quickly think about certain situations, be able to put on poker faces quicker than Emma. He doesn't have his emotions right on his sleeve. However, when you look at his actions throughout this episode, it shows that he is very weak when it comes to Emma. For instance, Emma is like his kryptonite. For instance, her emotions, her emotional state affected him. And so you could see that this could definitely be, used in the future. Some emotional weight for Norman as a character and some of his decision-making. But also, we get to see that in most areas, he's very strong. Like, when he wanted to go around Emma and talk to Ray just by himself, he was basically wanting to talk to Ray to say, we can't probably save all the children, and we should probably just, try to save the people we can save. That's kind of what Ray and Norman were probably going to talk about. So that was the big important part here, is that Norman as an individual, he's intelligent, but he does have his emotional weaknesses. And when you look at Ray as a character, he's someone that seems to be the realist in the group. That's kind of what Ray looks like. He's a guy that, if it's too hard, or if it can't be done, it can't be done. He's like, look, let's just give up. Let's be blunt. Let's give up. It's over. It's just GG. Let's wrap it up and go on. That's pretty much what Ray looks like he is throughout the second episode. So yeah, we have a very distinct three main characters, and that's what makes the series so unique, because you have all these characters trying to really, force their ideals or try to work through this situation together, which makes for a very enjoyable watching experience. Now, anyways, let's talk about the wall, or society, the world building. So that is a big part to the series that, many are going to be questioning while watching the episode. They're going to be like, what's out there? Is it a demon society? Is there a mutual understanding between humans and demons? Like, what is really going on out there? Because there's a lot of ways you can look at this. Since there's a lot of mystery to this series, you can either say, okay, so maybe the humans and, the demons, they have a treaty in some way, and they're allowing, humans to be farmed, or maybe there's a situation out there to where humans are enslaved and, the demons control the world, or, these are aliens. I mean, you really have no idea. That's the big thing here, is that you really don't have an answer. There's just so much mystery to this series, you cannot really get your answer like that. You have to take a moment to think about it, which, like I said, is why I enjoy this series so much, and why many enjoy this series, and why it's a popular manga series, is because it doesn't give you a lot of answers. You constantly have to come up with your own answers, think about things, and when the characters are learning, you're learning alongside them. Like I said, it's enjoyable. So, anyways, let's also discuss the escape plan. So, they right now are in a very big bind. Regardless of whatever is out there, okay? We don't really know what is out there. They also have to be able to leave this farm. And we get some information that the mother, she has a tracking device. Now, I do have to admit that that is pretty freaking scary. And seeing it in the anime version of the series, it definitely is a lot more intense than the manga counterparts. Like, the way you have the scene where she looks at, looks like a watch or something, but then you see her face get, like, real fuzzy, and when she walks out into the forest, it is something that is very unnerving, because I think the average watcher will be able to pick up on that and like, holy crap, she has a tracking device, and she walked out there and found the child. It's scary. And I think the anime definitely handled that scene a lot better than the manga, and it definitely added more suspense to the events that already happened throughout the episode. So what else is there left to really talk about? I guess, overall, it's a good episode. It has so much to it. There's a lot of foreshadowing, which I appreciate. I'm really thankful for the little nitty-gritty foreshadowing I've been seeing throughout this episode and the last, and I cannot wait to see the events of this arc unfold in the anime. And yeah, I have to say, as a manga reader that's read this arc already, this is a really good anime adaptation. I'm very impressed, I'm very happy, and I can't wait to see certain events happen and see more of, Sister Crone as well in this series. Love that character so much. Love Sister Crone. But I love you guys. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. And if you want to get notified for whenever I upload a video, please click the bell icon down below. And with that, Chibi out.